Call the meeting to order, the Native American Commission meeting. And what we're doing here today is, first of all, we'll have welcome and introductions, and Sharon White Bear, and I'm from the Rickwara, 3 affiliated tribes. We could go ahead and start right here, Heather.
Heather Keeler-Johnson, Yanktawan from Yankton Sioux Tribe and Shoshone.
I am Anna Johnson, and I'm from Turtle Mountain.
I'm Guy Fox, Fort Berthold and Norwegian.
Good afternoon. I am Lenore King, and I'm from the Sistan Wahpeton Oyate.
Whitney Fear, Oglala Sioux Tribe.
And we have a couple more members here as well.
Can you introduce me? I'm out of breath, but I'm here.
Yes. This is Chelsea Snyder, and she's from the 3 affiliated tribes, and she's our new treasurer.
Rebecca Knutson, liaison with the Fargo School District.
Okay, thank you. And today, we are going to be having induction of our new member, and that is Heather. And I've asked Willard Yellowbird to come and help us with that today. So in lieu of our prayer, we're going to have that ceremony as well. First. I'll tell you.
Willard, brought a lighter.
I did get the matches. Got some wood matches.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody that goes to the magic,
Yeah. Support our
If you
tribe.
love the slot,
I paid enough for these.
You want these right now or not yet?
Not yet, not yet. Heather Keeler Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seen you on Facebook all day.
You mean personal?
Yeah.
I always get the pleasure of introducing the new committee members, and I've been doing that since the beginning of 2006, doing a smudging, blessing. Well, in 2006, I didn't do the smudging. I had a friend from Red Lake, Panema, come down and do that, but he has passed. But I've been doing this ever since for all the new members. You know, much like as we do when you go to a regular commission meeting, they do prayers, and the new ones, they put their hands on the Bible, you know, and swear to uphold the dignity of the commission and the policies of, you know, stuff. You know, we do it in our way as smudging, and we do it, everyone that comes first, we smudge them, so that we all become one as a spirit, as a voice, and as the influence for our people. And we do this in good ways so that we all become a force, you know, when we do a spiritual thing. But we also do a prayer at the beginning. And so I'll do the prayer first. Hear us, Creator. Creator, listen to our prayer, for we are all your children. We ask our ancestors who are in the spirit world to find us and to listen to our prayer today and have pity on us. Creator, we thank you for giving us another day to feel your warmth, healing, and love in the spirit of the universe. We thank you for the lessons that you have taught us in patience, generosity, compassion, and love for one another. Let us walk in your beauty and make our eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make our hands respect the things you have made and our ears sharp to hear your voice. Make us wise that we may understand the things that you have taught us and our people. Let us learn the lessons that you have hidden in every leaf and rock. Creator, we seek your strength, not to be greater than our brothers, but to fight our greatest enemy, ourselves. Make us always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes. Creator, above, we bow down to you. You alone are holy. You own everything in this whole world. You are our chief over all. I thank you for being here with us today and ask you to give us your blessing and watch over those who all came to this meeting and watch over our new Native Commissioner, Heather Keeler Johnson, today and all days. As we do this in a good way, we ask that our voice, spirit, and soul become one today, and that all our meetings are for our community and our people and our ancestors. We do this in a good way for their protection, for their love and their understanding. We ask this to the Creator to do it in a good way. Today we'll smudge and bless Heather. We do this by, we'll smudge the heart first. And it's my belief when you smudge the heart, that's where the spirit first enters the body. The spirit is the heart of the body, because without the heart, there can be no life. The heart is like the spirit, and when it pumps us the blood to the different veins, the energy of the spirit goes throughout the body. And we also bless the head, the mind, because that's where we believe is the consciousness of the Creator goes into the mind of our people. And the body is from Mother Earth. The soul and spirit will never die, but our body will go back to Mother Earth. So as we do the blessing and cleanse our heart, that's the first thing we do and protect. The second thing is the heart, is the mind. We protect the mind. Then we cleanse the body. Usually what I do, I usually smudge from the feet first up, push all that negative energy through the feet, all through the body. And then all that negative and sickness energy comes up. We already protected our heart, right? So it passes your heart. And it goes up, and we already protected our mind second. And it goes past the mind, it goes out to the universe. But by doing that, we also ask Mother Earth to lift up her energy, her love and healing and compassion energy, to replace all that negative and sickness energy with her energy. And it just stays within you and dwells to help strengthen your spirit and make your body strong. Because without Mother Earth, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't even be a planet. So Mother Earth is a powerful woman, and we have to respect her in that way. So as we do the smudging, we'll do it in that way. And then after we do that, we have one of our greatest singers from Fort Berthold sing a honor song. Yeah, you can get, I'll give you his a CD number and stuff if you, no. I get to tease him because I'm older. And he calls me uncle. Let's just stand right here. Face east. That's it. You know, the different tribes have different directions. The Rickaroos sacred directions are southwest, southwest, northwest, and northeast. Lakotas and Chippewas are east, west, south, and west, northwest. Those are, but ours are our sacred directions, and they're more powerful. No. Natives always have humor. Remember that. You should see me when I'm working with hospice. No. I just did a talk at NDSU, so I'm kind of really going right now. Cleanse our heart of all anger, hatred, desire, sickness, negative energy. Cleanse the mind of all bad thoughts, influences, and fear, negative energy, and sickness. Cleanse the body of all negative energy and sickness. I ask Mother Earth to lift up her energy and replace all that negative energy with her love and energy, compassion energy. Today and all days, we do this in a good way for all our people. For as we become one with the voice and the spirit and the soul, we become one for the community of all our people in a good way. Before we do the honor song, I'm going to read a poem because it reflects how we should look at our people. It's called Two Horses. Just up the road from my home is a field with two horses in it. From a distance, each looks like every other horse. But if you stop your car or are walking by, you will notice something quite amazing. Look into the eyes of one of the horses will disclose he is blind. His owners have not chosen to put him down, but has made a good home for him. This alone is amazing. If nearby and listening, you will hear the sound of a bell. Looking around for this source of the sound, you will see it comes from a smaller horse in the field. Attached to her halter is a small bell. It lets her blind friend knows where she is so he can follow. As you stand and watch these two friends, you will see how she is always checking on him and that he will listen to her bell and walk slowly to where she is, trusting that she will not lead him astray. When she returns to the shelter of the barn each evening, she stops and occasionally looks back, making sure her friend isn't too far behind to hear the bell. Like owners, this commission of these horses, the Creator does not throw us away because we are not perfect or because we have problems or challenges. He watches over us, even brings others into our lives to help us when we are in need. Sometimes we are that blind horse being guided by the little ringing bell of those who Creator placed in our lives. Other times we are that guided horse, helping others to see. Good friends are like this. You don't always see them, but you know that they are always here. Please listen for that bell, and we'll listen for yours. Be kinder than necessary for everyone you meet, for they are also fighting some kind of battle. We do this in a good way for all our families, for all our people, and ask for the commission to think about that in good terms. There's a lot of people, a lot of our people are out there struggling. We ask that you listen for their bell, because they are struggling. Put away that selfish pride sometimes and look toward our people, our elders, our homeless, and our sickless. Those who are struggling with the alcohol and drugs and depression. For you guys are the commissioners. You guys are the leaders. Let them follow you, for you have that bell. And we'll sing. After the honor song, you guys all go up and shake her hand and hug her and welcome to your community.
Oh, you're getting a hug.
Hey,
do that one more time. One more time. Son, get back in there.
Well, thank you, Willard. I might have you say a few more words in just a bit. I appreciate that, and the way, again, in our tradition, I appreciate Guy coming to having his drum here. But I also know that when we work together, then we all participate together, and that's how we do it. And so right now, I also wanted to recognize one other person on the commission, and we did have a honoring for her during the New Year's dance, but I would also like to recognize her here, if she would please stand up, and is Whitney Fear, who this past year was voted the Woman of the Year here in Fargo. So I wanted to recognize her for that as well. So thank you, Whitney. Thank you. Okay, the next is the approval of the agenda and the minutes. And I just wanted to clarify something at the top. That's just the date you sent it out, that February, is that, okay, okay. I just wanted to be sure I wasn't messing that up at all. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes and the agenda?
I will move to approve agenda in minutes.
I second that motion.
All those in favor, or, excuse me, call the roll, please.
Fear,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes?
Johnson,
Yes.
Keeler Johnson,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
White Bear.
Yes. Okay, so, oh, excuse me, I see I messed that up. We already recognized Whitney, but I thought that was important to put ahead of that, so. The next thing we have on the agenda is Mr. Lemke has a presentation. Greg Lemke from the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center. Go ahead and come on up and introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Greg Lemke, and although I work at the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center, what I'm going to talk about is it's a committee, it's a community group, but it's facilitated through us, through the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center. So I'm going to hand out some brochures. Thank you for the time here. You know, we've been trying to arrange and blizzards and everything. So.
Yeah.
So I really have two things I want to talk about. First of all is what the committee is called Changing Our Environment Committee. And it's been around probably for about 10 years. It's had stops and starts and been very active and kind of inactive. And the last couple of years we've been much more active, and it's a group of people just throughout the community. Some are volunteers that just come on their own, and some represent their businesses and different areas of the community. And the Changing Our Environment community itself the goal is to end sexual and intimate partner violence in our community. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. And we try to do that through primary prevention. Just about 2 years ago, the group decided to adopt a strategy called Green Dot. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that. So that's what this brochure kind of talks about, what Green Dot is. And it's a bystander intervention program. And so we get people who are trained, and then they go throughout the community and work with people to understand how you can intervene in situations before they happen. And for instance, it would be like if you see somebody that's looks like they're going to harm a child, or if you're at a bar and it looks like somebody's buying somebody a bunch of drinks to try and get them drunk or something, so they can take advantage of them, it's trying to recognize those signs and realizing how you can intervene. And so if you look in the center there, it talks about the different, it's called the 3 Ds. There's directly intervening. You get involved, and if you're comfortable, but we always advocate for people don't do anything that makes you feel unsafe. You delegate, you ask somebody else for help, like you call the police if that's necessary, or you distract them. For that example I gave, like in the bar, maybe you go up and pretend you know one of the people and say, hey, we went to school together. Somehow you distract and intervene and get the attention off the person who might be harmed. To accomplish this, we had to pick a target area. Obviously, to say we're going to do this in the city of Fargo would be a monumental task. So we decided we were going to pick the downtown area. We're going to focus on the downtown because of the number of alcohol establishments, just looking at crime numbers, there's some feeling of people feeling unsafe for various reasons, and so we thought we would target that area. So before we can start the bystander training, we have to have conduct a number of focus groups. And so we decided with our focus groups to make sure that we are including underrepresented people and people who are downtown. We're working with the LGBTQ community. We hopefully Native American community will join us in some of these focus groups. Just people who work downtown, people who come downtown a lot. And we're of course working with the colleges because a lot of students work downtown and come downtown. So that's where we're primarily focusing on. And we're going to conduct these focus groups, and so use that information to help us develop our bystander training. And then that gets a little more in-depth. Like the focus groups are an hour and a half, the bystander training, we can do an overview in an hour and a half, but to get somebody through the training, it's 6 to 8 hours. So it's a big commitment for somebody to do that. And so we are working with some bar owners already downtown to try and get them to get some of their staff involved in this. So my ask here, first of all, if you are interested in being a member of the Changing Our Environment Committee, just let me know. I have a notepad here if you want to put your name down and contact information. The Changing Our Environment Committee meets once a month for an hour. So there's not a big commitment to the meetings, and lunch is provided. And we meet at Fargo Cast Public Health. The next meeting is March 21st. Anybody's welcome to come at noon if you would like and just sit in and see what the meeting is about. So I'll just throw that out there. But the main thing we're looking for right now to get moving is to conduct focus groups. And we've done a couple of them at NDSU, and otherwise we're still working to get people together who would be willing to sit down, and we have developed questions, and it would be basically about the downtown area. What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel unsafe? Do you like to come downtown? If you don't, why don't you? And various questions like that. It takes about an hour, hour and a half. And we're setting those up, trying to be accommodating to what works for people. We did visit with the Human Relations Committee, I think they're called in Fargo, or Commission. And they have 2 or 3 people that are interested, so we thought maybe if we could get a number of people from your commission that are interested in a focus group, we'll set up times and dates, and maybe we could do it with the Human Relations Commission, as well as finding some people who live in the downtown area. But we want to get those done in the next month or month and a half, so then we can start moving forward with our strategy.
Okay.
So if you're interested in a focus group, also, if you put your contact information down there, I'll just send out emails and let people know that when it's going to, our options, I should say. Give people some options of different dates and times that we would have those focus groups. So, and I didn't bring cards, sorry. But I am at Rape and Abuse, I'm the education and training coordinator, so I can be contacted through them. Anybody have any questions?
Start. Do you have any questions?
I have a question. Is this a program that is outside of Fargo Moorhead as well? Or are you basing it on some other programs, or?
Great question. I didn't explain enough about it probably. It's a national strategy that's been developed nationally, the Green Dot. and different communities adopt it. The people that, they came here and did the training, they're actually coming to Grand Forks in August. So again, if people get involved and somebody wants to go, it's a 3-day training, then you can go out and join us and do the training. But it's a national training, and they do have different aspects to it. Like we did the community training. They have a university one, and I can't remember what the other, but they have 3, and they're developing one that's just going to be strictly for like bars. So it's an organization that's been around a while and has got some good results.
Great, thank you very much.
Yep.
Whitney?
I don't have any questions, but thank you for your work in the community.
Thank you.
For coming.
Chelsea?
So I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
In the pamphlet that you gave us, it says Green Dot is a comprehensive approach to power-based violence prevention. What is power-based violence prevention?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of aspects to the prevention piece of it. I mean, the power-based violence is obviously someone who has some kind of authority, control, or physically can control someone else. The strategies for prevention, I mean, this is one of them. The bystander piece of it is getting people to know when to intervene and when they can intervene, when it's safe. To look out for those signs, because again, it's the primary prevention piece. Instead of reacting or, after somebody has hurt somebody, still, there's services, and we want those services, but we're trying to get to the point where it's prevented before it happens. And so Green Dot is one of the strategies
Okay.
that conduct that.
And then the next question is, have you contacted the Human Trafficking Coalition for the Midwest region to talk about how they can kind of be involved in this solution to maybe help educate bystanders on identifying someone in need of services or in need of intervention?
No,
Okay.
we have not. Specifically, we do have two or three advocates at our agency who do work with human trafficking, people involved in human trafficking. So I certainly could touch base with them, and I'm sure they would know the contacts. But we're looking for ideas too to reach out. Who do we include?
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
then, so you said your next meeting is March 21st at Cass County Public Health?
Yes.
From what time to what time?
12 to 1.
And then, is this for the focus group, or is this just the
No,
monthly?
this is our monthly changing our environment committee. And so it would give people maybe a better idea of what we're about and what we do. Since Green Dot is our strategy, that's what we focus on at our meetings now, and so there will be updates. And then we do have asks of people. Nobody is obligated because we realize people are working and stuff, but we'll ask them, do you know some people who work in bars, or do you know, and to try and get them to help us set up focus groups right now.
Okay.
And then we did get 14 people trained. So once we get the bystander trainings up and running, we have a number of people from the community that will help conduct those.
Okay. And then, so with the focus group, and, because that's going to be different meetings.
Right.
What is the time allocation, or what are you asking for from your members? Like, how much time would it be committing to be involved?
To be involved in a focus group?
Or the committee?
The committee, like I say, it's an hour a month.
Okay.
And then we would like people, to be a little more involved. I mean, we have some people who come an hour a month and participate, and that's all they do. And we accept whatever people want to do. But we do need some to be willing to do a little more to help us with the efforts, because it's really important for us and really with Green Dot that this is not a rape and abuse program. For a variety of reasons that may not always be accepted well in the community. So it's a community-driven effort. And so we ask some input and some participation from our community members, but
Okay.
no obligation. You don't sign a contract.
To be a part of the one-time focus group, how much time and effort does that take?
Well, we were saying an hour, but we've just done 2 at NDSU, and the people said it took an hour and a half.
Okay, right
So
on.
we're going to say an hour and a half. Yep, thanks
And-
for the good questions.
Thank you for this. It's really interesting, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Good, thank you.
Lenore?
No, I don't have any questions, but I'm interested in attending the noon one on March 21st.
Great, thank you.
You got my.
Thank you for presenting.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but thanks.
All right, thank you.
Another connection that might be worth making is we have a Murdered and Missing Indigenous People / Human Trafficking Task Force here in town.
In town?
They meet the last Wednesday of every month at 2 o'clock at Plains Art.
And I don't know if there would maybe be a possibility that you could present this to them as well. It's focused more on our Indigenous population. But then my other question is, you talk about doing it in bars downtown, so this is only focused for 21 and over, because I know we have like a homeless population downtown too. Is there some sort of training that's focused on that and more of the youth that would be downtown?
We're hoping to get someone from like the Homeless Coalition or homeless people involved in focus groups. No, it's not, and I shouldn't have, if I misspoke, it's not just for people in bars.
Okay.
It's for the whole downtown area, shops, kids, whoever comes downtown, we're looking for their input. We're just going to focus on bars when we start doing our 8-hour training to help them understand how they can recognize these situations. But anybody can come to those too, because it'll be downtown, we know what's going on downtown. So,
Okay.
do you have contact for that other commission you were talking about that meets at Plains Art Museum?
Yeah, I can get that too
Okay,
before you leave today.
okay.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Greg. I'm glad you got to come. We were kind of
Yeah,
back and forth there on the email. I'm really interested in helping with something like this. I just want to maybe give a quick scenario of, sometimes we do things and we don't realize what we're doing there, but I was in an establishment, it was pretty large, and there was a couple ladies on the bench, kind of, it's a bigger place anyway, and I could tell, and as I walked in, I'm like, oh, that's my friend, I know her. So I go over, and then some gentlemen come up, and there's two ladies there, and then I realized I knew both of them, and they just met, sitting on that bench, because they were both having a hard time getting around the place.
oh, okay.
Then there's this guy come up to give them alcohol. And so I said, well, hi, is this your friends? And she said, no, we just met them, but they were buying them drinks. I said, oh, okay, and I said, well, hey, I'm here with you, and what do you need a ride? And then she said the both of them's friends were out doing whatever in the establishment. And then, so then I did go to one of the security people, and I said, those are my friends on that bench over there. And if they start to leave or anything, would you please come and get me? I just wanted to make sure who they were leaving with. And that was it was just something I felt like I had to do when I seen someone like that. Now, if it had been a stranger, I'm not sure, because then sometimes, like you said, people are like, it's none of your business. So, but I think even just maybe telling the security so that they realize who's left with somebody.
Yeah,
So that was so this was kind of brought all that back to me when I seen you talking about what you're doing. So I appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for coming.
yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. And I was going to say, it seems like you almost did all three of these right there, maybe without knowing it, distracting, delegating. And so I think people do those things anyway without really knowing how to label it. And so, yeah, thank you for doing that, and thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thanks.
Sharon, I
Yes,
have one
go
other
ahead.
question. Greg, do you have, I know we signed up, some of us, for more information, but do you need additional information from us today regarding the focus groups that you're trying to put together? Or would you be following up from the contact information you've received?
It looks like I have email addresses for everybody. So I'll follow up with an email and see what you're interested in, COE as a whole, or focus group, so I'll follow up
Okay.
with emails.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Did someone else have a question in
I
the
was
audience?
just going to say, Melanie's probably your best
Oh.
connection for that.
Oh, for the address. Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you, appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Okay, the next thing I have on here is the update for the MMIW update. And who was going to have that? Was any of you? No? Okay. I think, Go ahead.
I can if nobody.
sure, go ahead,
I was
please,
at
Heather.
The February
Right.
event, and I don't know if
Just
Melanie
an
wants
update.
to add something too.
Okay.
So during that event, we had a really great turnout. It was really cold outside, so we just did like a 5-block walk. But we don't have any clicker for counting, but I think what we kind of determined is we thought 200 to 225 people came throughout the day. We actually did a survey for as many people there, and we had 92 of them returned, asking like what the community is interested in. And obviously, policy is one of the areas, but we broke it down into 4 areas of what our community is looking for as far as the task force to do. And so it was the youth prevention activities, community awareness, and then victim and survivor celebrations and healing. So I think moving forward, those are going to be some of the things that the task force focuses on in the community. One of the things that we're going to start doing is possibly doing some talking circles or community groups, hopefully in April-ish or May, just to get more community people involved and having a voice.
Okay.
Melody, did you want to come up and give any more updates on the event?
Thank
With
you.
that hat and those earrings, you have to.
Anyone?
Numakaki anite gogo gamihet enidos nuitaros militaris yarakirados. Hello, my name is Melanie Angel Monez. I am a member of the Free Soul of the Tribe and my name is Butterfly Woman. My English name is Melanie Angel. I have one update. Last week, the MMIP human trafficking bill, don't have the number because I didn't bring anything prepared, but it did, the one that went to study resolve. Some say that that's where they go to die. But it passed unanimously.
Woo!
So it will go on for signature for the governor. So that's awesome. But as far as anything, there's still bills yet to go before the Senate. So, and I've been kind of watching that closely, so hopefully keep everybody updated. That's all I have.
Does anyone have any questions about the MMIW? Can start here, Anna.
No, I don't have any questions right now.
Anna?
Well, I attended, and it really grew from last year. And it was just amazing to see all these people there. And the Gray Winds showed up, and they led the march with the Savannah banner. And everybody brought Savannah's favorite flower, sunflowers. So there were sunflowers everywhere, which was just beautiful. And yeah, it was a great turnout. Everybody had a really good fellowship and food, and it was great.
Chelsea, do you have anything? Comments?
I do. First off, I want to say thank you guys for what you've done. I know Whitney's been involved. I know you've been involved. I know a lot of us here have been involved. I was wondering if there's any way to get a determination letter of because are you guys nonprofit or?
I believe we are currently nonprofit,
Okay.
but I don't have any of that information. I'm new to the task force, so.
No worries. I was just wondering if maybe there's a way that we can do an information sharing. So like the survey that you guys did and you had 90 plus returned, if there's a way that the task or the MMI, is it MMIP? Or is it, what's the name of is it?
MMIP.
Okay.
It was once Fargo Moorhead MMIW, Human Trafficking Task Force, but now with the amendment in the bills, it will be going to MMIP.
Okay, right on. If we could get the MMIP, like self-determination letter for the 501c3 status, and if we could do maybe an agreement or an MOU between the NAC and the MMIP to share statistics, so like the survey that you did, I would love to see that data and see what our community is saying we actually need. So if there's a way we could do that, that would be awesome.
Okay, and I will relay this message and see what we can bring back.
You guys are awesome, so that's all I gotta say.
Whitney?
No questions. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. It sounds like you're staying on top of the legislation too, so policy-wise, that's very important and appreciated. Thank you for the update.
Okay, I have something to say. I know that, did you guys go to that event that Friday, to drive to Bismarck? Were you able to make that?
I've been going back and forth. I don't know
Okay.
which one.
Well, I know, Melanie.
We Rise, was that? No.
I know you've been going back and forth to, for the legislation, and I know next week they're going to be having hearings, and people can come and speak at those hearings, and so I know that's really important. I don't know if you have other people going for that, so that's
You know, I don't have anything in writing as of right now. I'm just
Okay.
going myself and inviting
Sure.
people who would like to go. But
Mhm.
yes, what's happening before the Senate is exactly what happened before House. So those testimonies and things still need to be heard. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yep, and I know they're
learning
doing
as
that.
I go and inviting and getting out there and testimony, or even just presence, just
Yeah.
even being in the room to show appreciation.
Yeah.
Some committees do accept testimonies. So if you want to email something, or if you know somebody who's going to be in the area who could read your testimonies on your behalf, that would be an excellent way of showing support to these bills, because they will be heard in hearings throughout the Senate.
Okay. Well, thank you for your work.
Sharon?
Yes, go ahead. No, it's okay.
Also, I wanted to mention, in addition to testimony to be sent, contacting legislators via phone or email versus if opposing or supporting a bill, and that information is available on the state website. So if you want to try to find your own senators and representatives based on where you live here in Fargo or any place, actually, it wouldn't just have to be Fargo area ones to reach, that would be important. And then I guess if there is anything coming up in terms of hearings where you feel like you need to have, well, more bodies in the room are always helpful, whether individuals are speaking or if it's, a simple presence. But perhaps we could be working to help organize. I'm not quite sure what, how to do that. I know in the past, when there was some legislation at the last legislative session regarding new Americans and refugees, there was quite an effort to pack a hearing room and to provide some transportation and organized transportation, whether that's through carpooling or, renting a van or something. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I'd be happy to be in contact with you to see if there's anything that I can do to help. But numbers oftentimes help, like we saw what happened on the House side, so.
And might I add, I do have some handouts with me on how to testify, ways to testify, some tips on how to find who your senator is and things like that. So I'll go ahead and give those to you when we're done.
Okay. And if you need us to make more copies, we can make them, even if you don't have a lot of copies.
And I am, everything's in the works, but I would love to do something like that. I've been doing it on my own, and so absolutely something of great importance. I'd be willing, any guidance or any suggestions you have to get the more community out there.
And even moving forward to, legislative sessions following this one, just learning about how things went this time, and then what we could do to make improvements or processes to put together possibly for the legislative session to come.
Yes, I'm glad that you said that. My goal is to be involved and be ready for 2022 and help rock the Native voice vote.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
Well, I know I've been talking to you about that, and that's something I have some forms and some things that I wanted to bring to the executive committee for some of the things that we had discussed earlier. So trying to get the organization of transportation back and forth. So I appreciate that. I'm gled you came.
Thank you, ladies. I didn't
Thank you.
Sorry I didn't have anything
You
prepared.
did wonderful.
We got one
Thank you
gentleman.
so
We
much.
got the one gentleman. Thank you.
Thank you. Go stay. Okay, the next on the agenda is the Arts and Culture Commission, and Arlette Preston, go ahead and come on up. Oh, you're going to do, no problem. Yes, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing the time for me to do this. I'll try to keep within your time frame. As mentioned, I'm with the Arts and Culture Commission here for the city of Fargo, and we're fairly new. We're trying to get the word out to different commissions, both internally in the city of Fargo as well as externally. So this is part of a community awareness raising effort. So we've been in existence, like I said, for about 4 years. Public art is really all about creative placemaking And creative placemaking is just making places where people want to linger and interact with each other. So it's, the purpose of that is really to try to encourage interaction between perhaps strangers that are sitting and contemplating something in the public arena, but also to increase that sense of community. The reason that I'm using a slide projector is that it's the best way, photos are the best way really to get the idea across. So we're trying to get people to understand what we're talking about here. So this is an example of just, it looks like a place between two buildings, maybe a burned out building, maybe an old parking lot, and they've converted into something where people want to sit and linger and probably meet each other, talk, whatever. This is also an example of a site that was, or is, just a blank parking lot. It's the old Schumacher Goodyear lot, which is on 4th Avenue and Broadway downtown. It's the place where the Red River Farmers Market happens during the summer. Again, it's just a public space that has been converted. There's music going on, there's place for children to play, there's food, there's groceries to be bought, those kinds of things. So it's just a good example of how to activate a blank space, basically. This is another example of blank public land. It's a storm retention area, storm retention pond. Doesn't do a whole lot to invite people to use the grassland. It doesn't provide a lot of enhancement to the neighborhood. However, this one is the same thing. It's a storm retention pond, and it's been converted by the neighborhood into very much use by the neighborhood. There's a community garden there. You can see there's a place for small entertainment kind of venue. There's a place for kids to play, and it's just a beautiful spot. Enhances the neighborhood. This is an example of a spot in town, and I think it's probably one of the underpasses on 10th Street, going north towards out of downtown. It's a good example of a public space that probably doesn't feel real safe because it's so dark. This is an example of converting an underpass into something that's beautiful, it's inviting, and it feels much safer. So, what is public art? It is truly art that's free and accessible to the public, uses creativity to address needs in the public arena, and it's truly way beyond murals and monuments. That is actually an image that is in one of the parking ramps downtown here. It's pretty subtle. You can drive by it many times and never see it, but it's kind of a cool little, not little, it's about, you can see 3 stories tall, a cool piece of art. Sodbuster is another piece of art that has been in the community and is probably going to make its way back, well, it will make its way back out into the public arena. One of the first things that we did as a commission was to put together a master plan for public art. And truly, there are a number of goals, but I picked out a few of them here. One of the goals is to build the capacity of both the commission as well as the artists in our community to make public art, and then provide care and maintenance for the pieces of art that we currently have. Some of the existing public art, this is one where one of the local artists, Brad Bachmeyer, worked with a neighborhood around Madison School, and the neighborhood kids were involved in designing and building as well as maintaining this piece of art. It's there's a skate land or skate park right behind it. So it took a part of the neighborhood, which was just, again, blank space, grassland, and made it into something that's more inviting for the kids to be playing on and using. These are examples of utility box wraps, and Anna, I apologize, I don't have yours up here, but it is on the brochure. Oh, it's right next to, yes. Yes. It's right next to stars. We also do have brochures that I laid on the table there that show some other images. So we're getting so many positive comments from wrapping some ugly gray boxes and making them beautiful. Oh, there we go. Public art is also can be temporary. And this is a project that the commission was involved in just recently in October of last year. Just something fun. It kind of shows the playfulness of the community. It was a big red ball that was moved from site to site for about 7 days. And people could follow it on Facebook to find it. And lots of kids would play off of it as well as take their photos with it. So some of the themes that we're looking, now the reason I'm here is we're looking for individuals and or groups that are interested in participating. We do have a certain number of dollars twice a year. At this point, we're granting out dollars to artists who are interested in doing a public art project. And the themes that we're trying to encourage people to consider, and you can see all three of these relate to water. Water and seasonality, celebrating the river, and water appreciation. We also are looking for themes around the emerging cultural diversity we have in our community, as well as understanding and appreciating the fact that we are an agricultural-based kind of land. Again, we're looking for partnerships, and by all means, individuals who are interested, or neighborhoods, or even business districts that might be interested in participating by producing an art project. And I think the contact information is on the brochure, but I would certainly be willing to answer any questions.
Go ahead and start. If you have any questions, go ahead.
Thank you, Arlette, for providing some additional information and examples of how the program has grown.
Go ahead and have.
I don't have any questions at this time, but I look forward to hearing what the rest of the group has to say in terms of if there's some kind of a group initiative or, group kind of representation for the project, not only in terms of maybe offering art, but providing guidance and ideas on ways of Native American art being incorporated further. So thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I don't think I have any questions. Thank you.
Chelsea?
I have a couple. First off, I just want to recognize Anna Johnson. She's currently showing at the Plains Art Museum, so congratulations.
Yep.
Your work is awesome. Proud of you. So.
Woo for you, Anna.
And when you're talking about the Arts and Culture Commission and partnerships, what would a partnership entail? Like, let's say the Indian education programs in Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo wanted to have their high school students do an art project with, let's say, Anna Johnson being the leader. How would that partnership work?
I don't know if this is on. Oh, it is on. There's no light on this one. Well, it could be a couple of different ways. One could certainly be putting a project together and submitting it for grant funding. Certainly, well, let me just give you an example. Joe Williams is on our commission, and he had indicated some interest in a bison that might be donated to the Circle of Nations School. And serving just as a liaison there, as a network person, I was able to help him get connected with the right people to make that happen. So it could be just an informal, how do we do this, how can I help, kind of, or how can the commission help, all the way to providing some funding. So I don't know if I answered your question entirely, but.
Sub-question. How much funding is available in your budget to fund like an individual proposal? It can go from this up to what?
Yeah, in fact, we're right in the middle of deciding on the grants that are going to be given out this time. It's twice a year at this point, twice a year. $15,000 has been budgeted for both. 15,000 for the spring and 15,000 for the fall. And what we are doing is we're taking in all the proposals. Right now, we only have 4, which there's not that many, and figuring out how we can work within that 15,000 and fund which ones, if not all of them, if we can.
Thank you. And thank you so much for bringing us.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming. I don't have any questions, but I see Joe Williams. He's from my tribe. That's
Ah.
awesome. He's part of that.
He's been wonderful.
Yes.
I think there's an opportunity with the FM Crossroads Powwow. I don't quite understand how that would work yet, but I got the wheel turning, so I'll reach out to you later.
Okay.
But thank you for
Sounds
presenting.
good. All right.
I don't have any questions, but I have lots of ideas.
Oh, good.
Maybe we
Good,
could
good, good.
chat after this.
I don't have any questions, thank you.
I'd get your proposal in there.
Oh,
Do that.
Deadlines for the proposal for this spring,
This spring, it was March 1st, so we're done with it.
for the summer session, for the second
Fall.
session, yeah, fall.
I think we're talking October sometime, aren't we?
I think.
We don't have the date yet, but if you go to the City of Fargo website and then to the Arts and Culture Commission, you have to go through a little bit to get there. There will be, and actually, what we should do is, we have a distribution list where all the notices are sent out to everybody. Maybe we should try to just get the whole commission on that distribution list. We'll do that.
The thing for the proposals, maybe we could get that on our site where other people could see that. I know we have a website and a Facebook page for the Native
Okay.
Commission, and maybe
Sure.
we could get that on there where people could download a proposal, the information.
Okay?
We could do
Yeah,
that?
this last round, they were distributed to all the boards and commissions and all of our Facebook sites. this last
They were.
round. Yeah.
They were-
Oh, okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Good, good, good.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask about is, I noticed you said that you were focusing on the project of water. I just find that kind of ironic because of how, we just had this maybe 2 years ago, but it has not gone away. And
Yep.
what, to maybe really pull that in where we know water is life.
Yep.
And it's very important.
Yep.
So I really think that's really good.
Sounds good.
And I think there'll be many people who could connect with you for this project. So thank you so much for
Good,
coming.
good. I'm glad you, thanks so much for giving me the time.
You're welcome. Okay. The next thing on the agenda is public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Chairwoman, can I just pass out?
And then the next thing
Is
we have
announcement?
is the announcements.
Okay.
So go ahead, Heather, you're on for the announcements.
I know, I just want to make sure everybody gets the posters. So we have posters for the powwow. I know that the commission helped sponsor some of that. And so I have more if anybody wants any more, but also we're always looking for volunteers. And this year, we're actually paying out up to 10 drums and no drum hopping. And so if you guys can spread the word, if you guys know any drum groups to come. And it's the 30th annual, and so we're actually inviting all graduates from any of the local colleges in the last 30 years to come. And so the afternoon grand entry will actually be honoring all graduates from NDSU, MSUM, M-State, and Concordia, Native American graduates, that is. So.
For the last 30 years?
Yeah.
Wow, that's going to be a lot of people. I
mean,
hope you get a lot of people. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about the powwow?
I don't have any questions right now.
Guy, do you have any questions for
No, no,
this,
thank you.
Lenore?
No, thank you.
Okay, Chelsea?
I have a comment.
Okay.
I just wanted to let everybody know that this is not related to the commission, but the Minnesota Indigenous Business Alliance will have a table there the entire day. So anybody who is an entrepreneur, who is a home hobbyist, who has a storefront business, anything like that, you can sign up on our Native Business Directory, and it is nationwide. We also have some things that we'll be kind of going through and selling there that promote buying Native and go right back into the mission and the program to find a way to completely and holistically buy Native. So we'll be there too, super excited. I won't be dancing though, so just letting you know.
Whitney, do you have anything?
Only comment I have is for the public, Sandy Berlin looks beautiful on the
I know,
picture.
I love that.
That's-
Former chair of the commission.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rebecca,
We just made
do you have
boxes
anything?
together.
No comment, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we are participating in this, and then we also, I've been contacted to ask if the Native American Commission will have a table, and we will have a table there to help greet people there too. So wherever they set us up. So thank you very much. Are there any other announcements? Did you have something, Chelsea?
Yeah, so one of my favorite things about spring and summer is the Parks and Rec guides. And as I was looking through, it's really expensive. And so one thing that I did is I pulled the Fargo Park Department Youth Scholarship Form. Every Parks Department has a scholarship form and availability for lower income families, which is me. And I have it on a jump drive to give to you guys, so if anybody wants the information, it's out there. But there's a scholarship form available for Fargo Park District, for Moorhead Park District. I think it's up to 2 different activities. They'll do half price. But then also the Veterans Pool, Memorial Pool in West Fargo, they have a discounted rate for pool admission, a little punch card. So I just wanted to let everybody know, anybody who wants to get their child involved in or summer programming, there are scholarships available. And one question I wanted to pose to the commission is, with our culture and education budget, could we be able to set aside some funding for some families so they can apply online with our scholarship form to cover some of the costs? Maybe like up to $100 or up to $50 per family, just so that there's additional funding, because even half of $80 is still $40. If you have 3 kids, that's a lot of money. So just a proposal for maybe the next executive committee meeting is, can we set aside some funding for scholarships for summer programming as well?
Okay, we'll talk about that at the meeting then. Can put that on the agenda.
And then I also kind of wanted to talk about, just throw it out there, there's this thing called Nextdoor. It's a neighborhood application, and I really wanted us to look as the Native American Commission. And I have the member agreement for the city officials where it has the requirements for us, but it's more than just a Facebook page. It's a place where we can put out, people who own Native businesses can advertise there. We can advertise all of our events, anything that's going on within the community, and it's all free. So it's just another option to have more information out there. And you log in or you sign up, and it's free for users. You sign up with your email, and you can be invited into a specific neighborhood. So why not create the FM Indigenous Community Neighborhood, where we can all share that information? So
Okay.
table that, and then I swear there's one last thing. Oh, and I don't know if you want to save this for staff reports, but I do want to talk about Jordan Donner and some things going on in West Fargo with Indian education. So go now or save?
Do you have anything for the staff reports? No? Okay, go ahead. Whatever your,
So,
and I guess I'm not sure what you're going to talk about there. So,
well, I think that I've made it pretty well known, but I've struggled since kindergarten to find tutoring and mentoring for my daughter. And this year she's in 3rd grade. And the second half of the semester she's been going through a lot, both emotionally, and she's still behind in math. And so after an incident at school, I had reached out to everybody. And Jordan Donner is graduating with his master's in social work this year. He works for the West Fargo Indian Education Program, which is under the West Fargo Indian Education Program as well. I just wanted to say that as of last week, my daughter now has a Native American mentor who is 17 years old, who will be graduating next year. And she completed the peer-to-peer the peer mentoring program for 6th through 12th graders. And so Jordan Donner, this is a pilot program, but we have our very first peer-to-peer mentoring for Native American students in West Fargo. And so I wanted to give his email information out and his phone number for any parents in West Fargo looking for Native American mentors for their K through 5 students. His email, again, his name is Jordan Donner, The email is jdonner@west-fargo.k12.nd. I think it's no, it's .us. Sorry, .nd.us. And his phone number is 701-499-3014 or 96. I'm sorry.
I'm sure that we can't get all that right now. People will probably,
I
so
got it
what
on the
we're going to
agenda.
do is make sure that it gets on our site, on both of them. So, and then in the minutes, if you can record it so that it's there too, because I know some people do go read the minutes. So we can do that with that. And I appreciate you bringing those things forward. And I'm proud of your daughter. She's doing good.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm proud of her everything.
Do we have any other announcements? Anyone?
Yeah, I have one announcement. My artist talk is tonight at the Plains from 6 to 7. So come and listen to me flap about my art.
Thank you. Anyone else?
There's Sweat Tonight, open to public, starts at 7 p.m. J.R. Fox is pouring water. Delvin Rogers is the sponsor. And we have to send a loader over to remove snow. We're trying to work something out with the city to get snow removal for our parking lot. And so the past 2 Sweat events have been postponed or canceled. And we need to work with Public Works or Fox Underground or someone to get snow out of there. And then transition to winter celebration, if I could refer to the exec finance committee, that an extra $1,000 had to be covered by Fox Underground for the event. We had extra dancers show up for the dancer per diem and drum groups. So I will get an itemized breakdown and show that to the exec committee. If
Okay.
we could put that
Thank
on the
you.
agenda for next.
Yep, we'll put that on the agenda.
It's a good problem to have.
And then I know we were going to try to do a follow-up meeting, so that would be a good thing. So we could try to do that before then, so that if there's any other things that we needed, maybe we could bring it at that time as well.
Cool.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we try to set that up? Okay.
And one more announcement.
Sure.
I had a FM Crossroads meeting with Plains, what is it, Prairie Psych. And so it's kind of a long spiel. I'll save it. But if anyone on this commission would like to be involved in the Crossroads effort to get the powwow growing, our extracurricular activities like Chelsea's mentor tutoring program, K through 12 programming, or educational singing and dancing expos. I know that we were also going to look for a collaboration with homelessness and foster care solutions for that. And then working on this cultural center at the Prairie Psych location. And if we can get more people involved, I would like to work on the content or the unity, the connectivity between all groups. And then we can explain a little bit about the healing part of it and then the business part of it and working towards a common goal. So visit with me after, please.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay, so the next meeting will be April 4th, and in the new City Hall.
In the new City Hall.
New
I
City Hall.
apologize about today.
No, that's okay, that's fine. So the meeting is adjourned, and thank you.